From finding a mine filled with all the gold they could dream of to the many mysteries and dangers found in such a mine. Here's Parker Schnabel's greatest discovery: an abandoned mine packed with treasure. We all know that the search for gold is imperative to Parker Schnabel and his crew of eager gold miners. So you can imagine how excited they were to come across this gold mine that was filled to the brim with gold. As much as this was a gold miner's dream, there was something suspicious about this gold mine. After some investigation, it appeared as though this gold mine had been left behind in a hurry. What would make gold miners run away from a gold mine in a hurry? Well, the strange items they find as they carry on with their search for gold prove to be an indication that all is not well within this gold-rich mine. To be honest, we cannot get all judgmental when we learn about Parker Schnabel's gold mining expedition into this mysterious mine. At first glance, this looked to be a literal gold mine to Parker and his crew. See, you could see down the side of the pit all those old holes from where all the old miner shafts were. And these are all old-timer workings, the tunnels in the walls. Yeah, just one look into this fascinating mine revealed thick veins of gold all over the rock walls. A lack of mercury in said mine also proved to be a persuasive factor that drew the attention of Parker and his crew of excited gold miners. As much as this was enticing to the team, this mine would prove to them that all that glitters was not gold. They would find that a dive into this gold mine could very well cost them their lives. At first, though, things seemed to go well as they were able to pull over 100 grams of gold out of the mine without the use of sophisticated technology. Just their shovels and some grit proved to be enough as the men got to work. What's up? It isn't right. What isn't right? Where we're at? Where we're way off. Really? What do you think? You've achieved everything. Did you get a little gold in your pocket? Did I say that? Sounded like it. No, I've lost several hundred 000. Okay, I'm worried that I'm going to lose my business. As encouraging as this gold haul was, there was just something about their work there that didn't feel right. Over time, the crew started asking certain questions, considering how much gold they were expecting to find. They pondered on who would have left such a profitable mine behind, and why would they actually abandon it forever? Well, soon they would get some of the answers that left burning holes in their minds. After some time, Parker and his men would come across signs that they definitely were not the first to come across these mines. This came in the form of tools that they had found in the mines. 572 ounces. He's probably like 5 ounces an hour. Yeah, it was better than when we have 2 plants running. Yeah, this is the best cut we have ever run. That is nuts. Isn't that crazy? What may be even more daunting about their discovery was that it was clear that the miners who had been there before definitely left in a hurry, as they didn't seem to have enough time to take these tools along with them as they seemingly fled from the site. As if that wasn't bad enough, Parker and his men came to realize that they weren't digging into an ordinary mine. They were essentially digging deeper into what was essentially a time capsule. This so-called time capsule revealed that the rock formations were far from ordinary. Furthermore, those tools that we mentioned seemed to be too advanced for the period of time that they had been attributed to. With that in mind, it's clear that something truly strange was going on with this presumed to be profitable gold mine. Every dig of the shovel could either be one that could draw Parker and his team to the fortune that they were so eager to make, or an absolute disaster from which they may never recover. Despite the warning signs, Parker and his men decided to push forward. After all, fortune favored the bold, and they would not be happy if they allowed fear to prevent them from getting to what could essentially be a site that could bring them their unimaginable fortune. Well, soon they would get their answers, because the more they dug into this mine, the more they realized that it was getting unstable by the moment. That said, they could not stop with their dig, because the deeper they dug, the closer they felt they were getting to this fortune that had been buried underneath the mine for centuries. Do they ever test to see if they're losing gold, The recover 65 to 70%, right? Yeah, but I would bet that if they narrowed up their SO box a little bit and put a couple of different types of riffles in there, they could probably get that up to at least 85. Before long, they hit the bedrock, and this proved to be a make-or-break moment for them. Were they going to make history by finding that unbelievable fortune down there with nothing to show for their efforts? Even worse, was there a chance that they had dug their way to their doom? To their excitement, Parker and his team were astonished to find more gold than they had ever imagined. And that's a big statement to make about gold miners. Indeed, it proved to be more gold than anything had ever been found in the area for decades. As amazing as this discovery was, though, it proved to be just the tip of the iceberg when it came to this strange gold mine. Right alongside this gold were strange artifacts and markings that could not be attributed to any known mining operation. This was even more proof that someone had really been down there in the past, perhaps long before any modern miners such as Parker and his crew had been down there. Suffice to say, Parker and his men were in a bit of a spot of bother. Should they get all the gold they could get their hands on and leave this strange mine? Or should they delve further into the mysteries to be found in this odd place? This proved to be a difficult choice because, as we all know, curiosity tends to kill the cat. Yeah, when it comes to the whole cooperative model, I'm not a very cooperative person. So I think I'd really struggle with that. We'll find something. The team was definitely at some sort of crossroads because as much as delving into the mystery of the strange mind could make them pioneers of some sorts. After all, there must have been some reason that the mine had been left abandoned for decades, if not centuries. Despite this, the team seemed to be undecided as to how to move forward. While some members of the team wanted to leave the cave as soon as they could gather all the gold they had found down there and hand over the artifacts they found to any archaeologists and historians who may be interested in the matter, other members of the team wanted to keep going themselves. They wanted to see exactly what was down there and maybe extract the wealth of knowledge that the mysterious cave had to offer. I'll knock a bit of this down. What do we got here? Oh, have a look in there. Oh yeah, she's out, bro. Holy. As you can imagine, Parker had some deciding to do. As the leader of the crew, we can understand how he was torn as to how to move forward with his team in this strange mine. What should take priority, the thrill of discovery or the weight of discovery? Well, whatever his decision would be, he had to make it. And he had to make it as quickly as possible. Time seemed to be running out, and there was no telling as to what sort of danger they were going to face if they stayed down there for too long. Unfortunately, Parker would take too long to make his decision, thereby leaving himself and his crew in the cruel hands of fate. Before long, the team found that the deeper they dug into the ground, the more the mine became unstable. Turns out that the ancient support beams that may have been holding up the mines just could not support the modern excavation techniques that Parker and his men were using at the time. Before they knew it, literal cracks seemed to run through the walls above them. As if they were not frightened enough by what was happening, the team ducked for cover as the air filled with dust. Just as they thought the worst was over, they were all alarmed when they realized that the walls around them had collapsed. Good God, am I popping right down next to where you're at? That's it. Just sit down, bro. Swing off the edge. Okay, so sit down. That's it, bro. Music, okay. Oh, nice and slice. Bye, Dan. When the dust had settled, Parker realized that he had a massive headache on his hands when he saw that the mine had caved in. All hope for the best was lost when they realized that the mine had caved in such a manner that it sealed off part of their path. So much so that they had to come up with another way to approach the dangers in this mine. They soon came to realize that they were dealing with something that was more dangerous than old rock and dirt. They were actually in a battle against the gears of time, and the very earth that had kept the secrets of this strange mine hidden from the world for many years. In the end, they were compelled to do all they could to get all the gold they could get out of there before they got into the sort of danger that could change the course of their lives forever. Should they keep going, or should they get all the gold they could get their hands on before fleeing like their predecessors? Wow, that's so crazy.